Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to OPRC class day 97. Today we are going to start a new chapter. New chapter means new chapter in the Dhammapada. New chapter which is called Wise Pandita. Pandita chapter. So let us uh, get, uh, get started. Speaking with homage to the Buddha before we get started. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The Pali word Pandita uh, has a very wide meaning. As you know, this is basically mentioned in the Mangala Sutta. Mangala Sutta clearly mentions that uh, everyone, every follower of the Buddha should associate Panditas. The idea is that we need to be Panditas. And then it might be a little bit challenging for someone to stay Pandita sometime, right? The thing is that it's not a one-time activity that I became a Pandita by knowing somebody, by going to a temple, by doing the meditation, by doing a chanting. So it's like a consistent, committed course of practice that makes someone Pandita, right? So that's why even a Pandita can become a Bala in a moment of time. The moment you open your gossip mouth, you become a Bala. And the next moment you understand, oh, I gossip, I was a Bala, then you become a Pandita again. It's like back and forth. Bala Pandita circle, like a Paticca Samuppada nature. So that's why we cannot separate out, okay, we are Panditas and you are Balas, unless we have become enlightened people. Like, we are discussing that part today. Other than that, being unenlightened individuals, we may have to be careful that just knowing what to do and then keeping in touch with the Kalyana Mitra, I would say Panditas, for some time would not guarantee that we are Panditas in the long run, as long as we are giving us reminders that I have to, or we have to keep in touch with the practice. It always goes back to keeping in touch with the practice, getting back to the practice, right? And it's not just a spiritual activity itself. It is how I think about me, how I spend my day, how I interact with other people, how I think about society, how I plan myself. So they all include with regard to this definition of Pandita. So in the Pandita Vagga, the Buddha actually discusses the nature of the Pandita and the moments that we can feel that we are with a Pandita, or maybe to understand a criticism that can come from. Exactly, that is what we are discussing today. The criticism, I would say a healthy criticism. We don't like the unhealthy, visceral, toxic criticism that you are being pinpointed in public, maybe in front of many. Rather than that, a healthy criticism. In Western context, they might say constructive criticism. But we are talking a healthy criticism. I mean, going beyond the constructive. Maybe I was wrong, but don't tell me I was wrong in public, in front of everybody. I cannot process that thing, I have a dignity. I have some other image about myself. So we are going to look at what you call criticism beyond the constructive criticism. What is the Buddhist way of critiquing someone? That's something you're learning today. The Buddhist way to critique someone, not to criticize. Huh? Critique is a good thing. Uh, how to become a critique within the Buddhist teachings? I think that's a very dignified way to get into the topic. Not that you want to remind yourself, I've been criticizing people. Today I know I was correct. Not getting to that point of view, right? So when I go to a place, I tell people, this is not the way I will sit down for the meditation. This is not how you chant. This is not how you offer dana to Sangha members. This is not how you should behave. This is not how you should talk. That is not what we are discussing with regard to healthy criticism. That's something much beyond that, right? So this is just a heads up about Pandita Varga. So today we are learning the first stanza, the first verse. This is a verse once again that is going to be a what you call not a normal 4-line stanza. In Pali they call it pada. Pada means line. One pada, second. Some people say pada or pada. One, second, third, fourth. So that means there are normally 4 padas lines with regard to a normal Pali verse. But this stanza and also the couple of stanzas we discuss with regard to the Balavakas, towards the end of the Balavaka, we saw that there are 6, perhaps 7 lines. So we call them as Atireka Pada verses, Atireka, or I would say alternative verse structures, right? I think in today's world, there are, I think since it has been there for some time, you call it, what do you call, blanket verses, or perhaps they are not writing in a rhyme. The rhyme is not there. When you see a Pali verse, there's a rhyme at the end, how to end that particular line. So this first stanza is also about, not a normal Pali stanza, but it is a structure in Pali verses. Okay, so let us get into our reading part. That's so very important. Lesson 97, September 11, 9/11, right? Dhammapada 76. Okay. Pandita Vakya. Nidhi nangva pavattaram yang passe vajjadasinam. Niggaiha vading medhaving ta disang panditang bhaje. Ta disang bhaja manasa seyo hoti na papiyo. Nidhi nangva pavattaram yang passe vajjadasinam. Niggaiha vading medhaving tādisang panditang bhaji. Tādisang bhaja manasa seyo hoti na papiyo. All right, so we'll be asking groups to read. First of all, I would like someone from group 1 to read this one. Yes. Yes, Melin, please go ahead.
Okay. Nidhi nang ver pavatarang yam pase waja dasinang nigaha wading ma me davim
Niggaiha
nigaya wading me davim tadisang paditang baje tadisang baja manasa seyo hoti na papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 2. Someone from group 2. Yes, okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Nidinang va pavatarang yang pase vajadasinang niga davading meda
Nigai her. One word. Nigai her. Vadi.
niga nigaya her
There's a H. Not nigai her. Nigai her. Nigai her. Vadi.
niga her
Ah,
vading
great.
meda win Tadisang panditang baje Tadisang bajama nasa seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes. Once again here. Nigai her. Vadi. It's easy to say. Okay, then group 3. Lisa, let's go ahead.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes.
Nithinam var pavataram yam pase vajadasinam. Nigai vadim met havin. Tadisam panditam baji. Tadisam baja manasa. Seyo hoti ner papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 4. Yes, Oi, let's go ahead.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Nidinang wa pawatarang yampase waja dasinang nigai he wadim medawin tadisam panditang paje tadisam baja manasa seohoti na papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And then group 5. Yes, Melinda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Nididam wa pawakaram yam pase waja dasinam niga he vadim meda
Nigai her.
niga he vadim medavin talisam panitam baje talisam baja manasa seyo hoti ne papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 6. 6, yes, TC, let's go ahead.
Thank you. Nidinam pavataram yam hase vaja dasinam nigaha wadim medavim tadisam panditang baje tadisam baja monasa sayo hoti na papio.
Seyo.
Seyo.
Seyo hoti na papio.
Seyo hoti na papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 7. Someone from group 7. Yes, Hima, please go ahead.
Thanks, Bhante.
Yes.
Nithinam wa pawataram yam pase vajadasinam nigaya watim medavim tatisam patitam baje tatisam baja manasa seyo hoti na papio.
Okay,
Satu,
great.
Bhante. Satu.
Yes. And group 8. Yes. Doris, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Nidinam verpavatanam pavataram yam pase vajadasinam nigaiha vadim medavim tadisam Panditam Baje Tadisam Bajam Nasa Seyo Hoti Na Tapiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, now I would like to ask others, anyone who would like to read, please raise your virtual hand. We will start with Suzanne. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Bhante. Thank you. Niti Namva Pavataram Yam Pase Vajadasinam Nigaha Vadim Medhavim Sardisam Panditam Baje Tardisam Bajamanasa Seyo Hoti Na Papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes, what you want, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Bhante. Ni dinang wa pawatarang yang pase wajadasinang. Nigai he wadin medawin tadisam paditang baje. Tadisam bajamanasa seyohoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Yes, 19, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Ni dinang ver pavartarang yang pase vajada sinang. Ni gaye he vading me daving tadisang panditang baje. Tadisang baja manasa. Seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great. Yes. Then Polly, please.
To Kyoto, Bhante and everyone. Nidinang ver pavataram yang pase wajadasinam. Nigaiha wadim medavim tadisang panditang baje. Tadisang baje manasa seyo hoti na papio.
Okay, great. And me, please.
Thank you, Bhante. Nidinam wa pavataram yam pase wajadasinam. Nigaha wadim medavim tadisam patitam baje. Tadisam baja manasa seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Seri, please.
To Kyoto, Bhante.
Kyoto.
Nidinang wa pawatarang yang pase wajadasinang. Nigai he wading medaving tadisang panditang baje. Tadisang baje manasa seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Chin, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Nidinang ver pavatarang yang pase wajadasinang. Nigaha vading medaving tadisang panditang baje. Tadisang baja manasa seyo hoti na papio.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Jean Pakla, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Nidinam va pavataram yam pase vajadisinam. Dasinam, sorry. Nigaha vadin medhavin tadisam panditam baji. Tadisam baja manasa seyo hotina papio.
Okay, great.
Thank
and then
you.
Margaret. Yes. Yes.
Bhante.
Yes, please.
Nidinam va pavataram yam pasi vaja dasinam. Negaiha vadim medavim tadisam panditam baje. Tadisam baje manasa seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Bhante.
Yes. And Kitty.
Nidinam wa pawataram yam pase wajada sinam. Nigahe wadim medawim tadisam paditam baje. Tadisam baja manasa seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And finally, Chupin. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Nidinang wa pawatarang yang pase waja dasinang. Nigahe wadin medawin. Nigahe wadin medawin. Tadisang paditang baje. Tadisang baja manasa. Seyo hoti na papiyo.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Is there anyone who would like to read at this point? Okay, if not, we are going to get into the translation and context, and then the story, and then the overall teaching. Now, here we can see that there are many ways that the Buddha is trying to tell us about a possible Pandita's approach, or maybe someone's approach to learn from the Pandita. So how are we going to look at the order? Vajjadasina. This is something we're going to look at first. Vajjadasina, Niggaihavadi. Vajjadasina, Niggaihavadi, Medavi. Vajjadasina, Niggaihavadi, Medavi, Yang Nidana. Yang Nidana. Pavatta. Eva. Vajjadasina, Niggaihavadi, Medavi, Yang Nidinang, Pavattaram, Eva Passe. This is how we're going to find out the order. The rest is fine. Tadisam Panditam Baji. This whole thing is 9. Tadisam Panditam Baji. Tadisam Bajamanas Seyo Tinapapi. I mean, just to find out the clarity with regard to the meaning. But let us understand the Pali meaning first. Vajja Dasina. What does Vajja mean in Pali? Vajja. Vajja. And Dasina. Anyone has found out in your Pali readings or Sutta reading or whatever other chanting the Pali word Vajja? V-A-J-J-A. Vajja.
Bhante, can we say fault? Fault. F-A-U-L-T. Can we say that?
The literal meaning of Vajja is fault, defect, maybe bad virtue. But in the Dhamma's context, Vajja means an akusala. It is an akusala because finally it will lead to an ethical level. The Vajja means. But the thing is that later Buddhism talks about certain other teachings that have commented on the early Buddhist teachings bring about what you call Appasavajja Mahasavajja. That means little faults and then maybe big faults. Say for instance, someone is thinking bad about somebody and then someone is going to be bad to someone. So there is a difference, but both are problems. At the same time, in the Sutta teachings and also in the Vinaya, Buddha is asking Sangha members and his followers to consider that anumattesu vajjesu bayadassa. The Buddha's disciple must take even a small akusala seriously. I think that's a very interesting point because there is vajja. Let me write that in the chat here. Anumattesu vajjesu baya dassavi. That means you should be scared to make even a little akusala. I think we can understand that you should be scared to make even a little akusala, small akusala. Why is it? In the Ratana Sutta's commentary, it is said that even a Sotapanna even scared to kill an ant. A Sotapanna is even scared to kill an ant. That's a very interesting claim. That kind of nature, which is going to be the normal nature of a Sotapanna, comes from this understanding. Anumattesu vajjesu by dassami. It's not that I cheat on somebody for $2. Maybe somebody might cheat on that person with $1,000. It's not the money itself. The number of money, how much money that the cheating is involved. What is important is, in that particular situation, is that cheating. Even a little akusala is an akusala. You can take it this way. Even a small cobra carries the same poison like a big cobra. Right? There's no difference between these two people. Right? They both have the poison. In the same way, the Buddha is asking Arya Savakas. Arya Savaka is not monk only, monk not. Arya Savaka means everybody. Right? Every Buddhist follower is called Arya Savaka if they want to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. Every noble disciple or Arya Savaka should be scared to make even a tiny little akusala. Now, I want to tell you the connection with regard to Vajja. Now, here the Vajja, Vajjadasina. Vajja means akusala. Okay, Vajjadasina. Now, initially, Vajja can be a fault, a mistake. It might be a mistake, it might be a fault, it might be what do you call a certain neglected area with regard to what we did, right? So, Vajjadasina. Vajja means the larger, broader meaning of Vajja is akusala, but we can also say in our general daily way a fault. Vajjadasina, the second one, Niggaihavadi. Niggaihavadi means now there is someone who is able to look at. Now, dasina means looking at or seeing the faults. At the same time, Niggaihavadi. Niggaiha means trying to reprove, or I would say trying to kindly show it. Now, the Pali word sometimes says you can maybe tell it in a harsh way. Actually, Buddha also did that, right? Did the Buddha teach Dhamma in a harsh way to some people? Or did the Buddha always talk in a very pleasant, nice way? May I know? How did the Buddha teach Dhamma to different people? I think we discussed that a long time ago, almost 1 year ago. The way how the Buddha teaches Dhamma to the Buddha himself is saying, this is how I teach. Remember, I shared with you a story, a sutta called Kesi Sutta
Yes.
in Anguttara Nikaya,
Correct.
where one horse trainer came to see the Buddha. And then the Buddha asked him, how do you train your horses? Then he said, I train this way, that way. And then the Buddha asked, I know that you have a lot of horses. So what if on a hypothetical situation, I mean, one of your horses is not going to listen to you all the disciplinary thinking, maybe your tactics. What would you do to that horse? What to do? I'm gonna get rid of him. I'm gonna kill him. Oh, okay. Then the horse trainer Casey was interested about the Buddha. I can see a lot of monks and nuns here in the Vihara. Thousand monks and nuns. I wonder, not every monk and nun seems to be nice in the way how they behave. Perhaps there may be someone who might not listen to you. Actually, it happened, right? Do you remember even the Buddha had to go out of the temple? It was a big struggle one day. In one of the Vassa, the monks in his temple, they quarrel each other. Right? What was the incident? This was a washroom problem. It's a very trivial, tiny problem, but it went into the Dhamma side. Some monks said, when you go to the washroom, you have to bring water. So that is good for the other person. And some other monks started saying, perhaps they are Vinaya monks, so much into Vinaya. Other ones are Dhamma monks. The Vinaya monks say, no need. If you want to go to washroom, you bring your own water, and then you finish and come back. So what happened? The Buddha noticed that these two groups of monks, Dhamma monks, Vinaya monks who are very much about the suttas or Dhamma side, and the monks who are very much into Vinaya side. So Buddha knew that this is going to be a problem. So he asked them to come and then advised them. You don't have to quarrel on these very trivial things because this is a very, very personal matter. But they did not listen to it. So they wanted to interpret the washroom experience through Dhamma or Vinaya. What do you think? Is it very important to interpret our like that kind of an experience through Dhamma and Vinaya? I don't think we have to. It is a personal aspect. But then what happened? They started quarreling each other. They did not even listen to the Buddha. Think about monks in the Buddha's own temple. This one was given by a banker called Goshita Ram. So then what the Buddha said, I know that these are not going to listen to me. I am going to leave the temple. And he left the temple during the Vassana time. And he went to the Parileya forest where he became friendly with elephant and monkey. And monkey and elephant were the only Dayakas who took care of the Buddha at that point. Very interesting story. So the thing is that now Niggayavadi means, I mean, now let's go back again to the case story. In the case story, now the Buddha had to deal with different monks and nuns. But it's not mentioned whether they were enlightened monks or not. That is the other problem. We don't know exactly what kind of monks and nuns were in this kind of argument. Anyways, Casey said, the Buddha, I understand you may have had experience with some other disruptive Sangha members. So what would you do? Then the Buddha said, I also do the same thing. Then he asked, what would you do? I'm also going to kill that monk and nun. Oh, I heard that the Gautama, the Shakyamuni Gautama is practicing non-violence. But now you are saying you are killing Sangha members. Then the Buddha told him, it is not in the literal way that you have to understand the killing. I am killing them spiritually. I am bringing them into spiritual killing. What is the spiritual killing? At that point, I stop advising them, guiding them. I'm not going to guide them anymore. So they are dead, spiritually dead. Physically they are living, but there's no direction for them to go in their life. Right? And then the Buddha further explained his strategy in guiding and then giving Dhamma, actually, the guiding, the overall nature of his his guiding experience. He said, with regard to my guiding experience with anybody, I have three methods. One is I guide in a nice way. How to guide in a nice way? Now this is a revision. Tell me what you learned many months ago. How did the Buddha guide his disciples in a nice way? In a nice, very pleasant way. It's a pleasant way. Pleasant,
Soft
nice.
approach, Bhante. Soft approach.
Yeah, what is a soft approach?
Gentle and soft.
Yeah, what is it? It is definitely, it must be soft and gentle. I mean, what is that? I mean, it is not just a word activity. It is the approach. What is that approach of teaching someone Dhamma in a nice, pleasant way? This is the answer. The Buddha's pleasant way of training someone, giving Dhamma, instructing meditation and talking, checking in with the practice, is that he is talking the positive side of the experience. Now, say for instance, if you are that person who is meeting the Buddha, Buddha is not teaching you 5 precepts in the Veramani perspective. What is the Veramani perspective? Now, how do you take 5 precepts? I am observing the precept of not killing. Why you have to mention not killing? Why can't you take it this way? I am observing the precept of taking care of all living beings, including me. Why can't you go for that? Why can't you be positive? Why you take precept? Okay, there's a killing, I don't do that. Why? Why you mention killing? And second precept in the 5 precept is, I am observing the precept of not stealing. Why to talk about the stealing? What if you take it this way? I am observing the precept of taking care of others' possessions, belongings. It's a beautiful, positive way. We all have to do it all the time. Third precept, I am observing, this is the way how you normally take. I am observing the precept of not sexually misbehaving. Why don't you take this? Why are you trying to say that I might be into adultery? I might be into sexual misbehaviors. What if you take it this way? I'm going to observe the precept that I engage in sexual conduct, not the misconduct, sexual conduct. If you don't want to be, you be a celibate, that's the other thing. But if you are a lay person, then I'm going to engage in sexual conduct with the right person, married person, in that whatever the context. What if you take the precept in the normal way? I observe the precept of not lying. That means lying comes first and you are saying you are not doing it. Why not to take it this way? I'm observing the precept of telling the truth. That the only people do when they are going to the court. That whatever I say, I swear to my everything, I'm telling the truth. But in the 5%, I'm not going to be a liar. Right? Why you say I'm not going to be a liar? You can talk about the truth. And the 5th one, I'm observing the precept of not taking any beverage, food or beverage, to an extent which will cloud my mind. What if you take it the other way around? I observe the precept to take any food and beverage to an extent I'm going to be mindful. So you eat, you drink with mindfulness. Not that you are intoxicated and you are trying to find the layer of the boundary of your drinks and food and drinks. Now you understand. The nice way the Buddha is training people is not talking the Veramani part. He's talking in the positive way. That is the pleasant way of teaching, guiding someone. But what to do, ever since you go to temple and ever since you know Buddhism, everywhere, everybody who trained you, they train you in the what do you call, harsh way, not unpleasant, harsh way. They're always telling you, what do you call, don't kill, don't steal, don't sexually misbehave, and don't lie, don't be intoxicant. Normally, how do you take it into your normal life, daily life? If you want to tell something to someone, let's say you know somebody did something wrong, how would you advise that person? Tell me how you do it in your daily life. You know, you have a very, what do you call, little bit stubborn child in your house. I mean, if you are a parent and you have bad experiences with that child. So just to make everything clear, what would you say to that child? You are going to make boundaries, huh? Don't do that, huh? Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you did it before. Right? That's why I'm telling you. Don't do it. Are you going to say to someone who has done nothing wrong, don't do it? The person asking why? Just in case. Just in case. The putujana, unenlightened nature. Right? So the Buddha's pleasant way of teaching is that he is talking the positive stuff with regard to the training. He doesn't have to talk about that. You will, like, Buddha doesn't need to give that way of explaining. But sometimes Buddha understands some people cannot be trained that way. And then the Buddha is using harsh way. What is the harsh way? The way how you have been trained already. What is it? Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadana Samadhiyami Adinadana. That means you have been trained so far in the harsh way. Sometimes there are situations that warrant the Buddha to teach, guide people in both ways. A little bit of pleasant, a little bit of harsh. You know, there are different people. So now you understand. I want to tell you about that harsh part, okay? The harsh part. So here Niggaiha Vading means a little bit of harsh way. So that means, say for instance, suppose there's a Pandita, a very wise person. The wise person is telling you giving you an advice with regard to something. So that is called Niggaiha. I think it's not that someone is trying to blame you so bad. You know, you are such a bad person. You did that, so you should be ashamed of you. You have to be embarrassed. It's not the Buddhist way of like Niggaihavading. Niggaihavading is a way that you have a kind of a presumption that you want to tell that it could happen again. So better watch out, you know, better watch out for that. That kind of approach. So, Niggaihavading. So now the Pandita here, there's another word for Pandita called Medavi. This Pandita is someone who is, what do you call, let's go back again here. Vajjadasina. That Pandita is able to see the fault or maybe akusala that we are doing if we are unwise. At the same time, Pandita is trying to teach us in a little bit of harsh way, Niggaihavadi. Niggaihavadi. Actually, when someone is telling you don't do something, were you ever felt that you were what do you call you were kind of understood in a certain way? Did you go through certain situations in your life when some people misunderstood you, and with that understanding, they were trying to tell you don't do that, right? There may be a lot of occasions, but we are not trying to be uncomfortable with that sometimes. Maybe this is good for me. Maybe the person misunderstood me. So Niggaihavadi means Pandita's ability to teach someone in a harsh way. But harsh way is not making the other person shameful, embarrassed, or maybe putting down, insulting us. So XYZ words. Harsh way means Pandita is trying to teach the unwise person, if so, in a way, in a certain understanding that this already happened. So I'm telling you just in case. So this kind of attitude is what we call Niggaihavadi. And then let's find out the third one. Medhavi. Medhavi means another word for the Pandita. That is another word for Pandita. Now, the wise person has a couple of Pali words. Pandita. May I know the other Pali words for the wise person that you already know?
Sapurisa.
Sappurisa. Then what else? Pandita, Sappurisa, Kalyanamitta, right? Kalyanamitta also will be coming to that level at a certain point. So, Medhavi. Now, Medha means wisdom. Medha and then Panya, they are kind of similar, but Buddha opted out for Panya. He did not pick up Medha because Medha has been used by a lot of Indian books. So perhaps he wanted to distinguish Panya bit better, I mean, as a word. But anyway, Medha also means wisdom. Medhavin means someone who has that wisdom. And then young, see that? Young Passe. Sorry. Young Nidina. Young Nidina Pavattara Iva. Nidina means a treasure. Now, normally Nidhi means treasure. Now, I have a follow-up question with regard to one of our very, very early OPRC classes. Remember, we started this whole OPRC class sessions in 2023, I think.
Nidhi Kanda Sutta.
Yes. And when we started this OPRC class, actually, this is why we are in the Dhammapada, actually. We started from the Kuddaka Nikaya. And in Kuddaka Nikaya, we discussed Kuddaka Pata, and that is how we ended up with the Dhammapada now, almost more than 1 year. So, in that Kuddaka Pata, the first book of Kuddaka Nikaya, the minor text, we learn a sutta called Nidhikanda Sutta. Nidhi means hidden treasure. Right? This was with regard to our departed relatives, actually merit transfers. Now, the Buddha is asking us to think that when a wise person is going to advise us, guide us, accept it as someone who is teaching us that there is a buried treasure somewhere. Go get it. Let's say someone is teaching you a very good advice, but in a bit of harsh way. Now, say for instance, someone is teaching you this never ever lie. It's a harsh way of guiding somebody. But if you were taught always speak the truth, very gentle way, very soft way, speak the truth all the time. But someone is saying never ever lie. No, you might, I mean, if you take it literally in English, you might feel a little bit embarrassed. Did I do that before? But what if that you are that unwise person in the first moment? You are thinking, maybe as an unenlightened person, Putujjana, I may have problems in my life. I don't care about this person. Maybe you are a Sangha member, maybe you are my enemy, right? Sometimes enemies are giving us very good advices in our life. Even the Buddha even cannot teach us that lesson at that point. Because we learn from the Buddhist text. But those people who disagree with us, they teach us the best lessons in our life. But their purpose is different. They might want to happen something else. But if you look at that particular thing that they taught us, I can cheat on you. I can insult you. I can take your energy. Yes, I mean, on the surface level, very disturbing experiences. But what you have been learning from these things? You've been learning something, the most precious understanding about the people. You are not going to hate those people back, but you are distancing. But those lessons would have not been given by anybody. Right? So that's why here the Buddha is saying a wise person can teach you the lesson in a harsh way, just like someone who knows the place of a buried treasure. The person is showing you, and there, if you dig that place, you will find out the treasures. So we have to accept even the advices, guidance given by anybody, maybe a little bit in a harsh way, from a good person, from a bad person, harsh way, really bad, really harsh. But if it was a lesson, we need to consider to use it, to change our life to the best. Pavattara means telling the place of a niti. And then passe means that person asking you to see that place, look at that place. There is the treasure. You go get it, go dig and get it. So that kind of thing. And now the Buddha is saying, Tadisang panditang bhaje. Tadisang means such. This is a word in Pali, Tadisang. What is the other Pali word, parallel Pali word? Yadisang. Right? Yadisang. Yadisang vapate bijang, tadisang harate palang. If you sow in a certain way, you will reap in the same way as well. Right? You reap what you sow. Right? Yadisang and tadisang, such. Right? These are interesting analogies in some of the Pali texts. So Tadisang, such kind of wise person. What kind of wise person? Someone who is teaching us in the harsh way. That kind of guidance, that kind of very wise experience to us is important, so that such wise people need to be bhaje. What does bhaje mean? Bhaje. B-H-A-J-E. Bhaje.
Should be associated.
Associate. So do you bhaje the good people now? Who are the people you bhaje? Bhaje. Interesting Pali word. Bhaje means associate. Who are the bhaje people? I mean, I'm not talking like in a different way. Bhaje here means talk together, eat together, go together, discuss together, plan together. These are the bhaje kind of experience. I mean, right? That means family, other people. So always try to associate such people, because the Buddha is teaching another very interesting idea in this chapter. It is said that never ever associate evil people by making a lame excuse. I don't have friends. What to do? I just have to be with them. No, that's a lame excuse. You will learn that in this chapter. The Buddha said, if you cannot find panditas, better be alone. That's what the Buddha said in the Pandita one. You don't make a lame excuse to go and then, okay, I don't have friends. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Can we just go out? Can we just eat? Because you will become a bala. Right? You become a bala at that point. Sometimes people make those bad choices. They are good people, but they are thinking, I'm lonely, nobody to talk, go for a coffee. But the coffee mate is going to be that bala. At the end, the bala will influence that person. Right? The Buddhism is placing a high emphasis on finding out, associating pandita. If you miss that part, don't talk about Noble Eightfold Path. You will never be able to practice it. You will only theorize it. Samma, Ditti, Sankappa, Vacha, Kammanta, but you will never be able to practice it, because in order to practice a Noble Eightfold Path, you must have Pandita. Buddha is the greatest Pandita. Arahants, Sangha members. And then you need other. You can't associate Sangha members all the time, right? You have to have the good people around you. Right? Now think about the encouragement we are doing every Thursday through this class. So how to keep this encouragement going in your life? So you are supposed to create that Pandita circle. Now, opting out certain people for the Pandita circle is should not be done in a way to frown upon other people. That is your choice. You say hi and bye to everybody, but your association, your intimacy, your association must always be with this kind of Pandita. Actually, what is the experience that we are going through when we are not with Pandita? Let's say I'm making a very bad mistake. I'm doing wrong things. You think, will the Bala advise me? Bala will never advise me. Why? Bala will say, oh, I also gone through this problem. You just carry on, continue. Maybe if I happen to insult someone, Bala also had a grudge with that particular person. Yeah, I should have done it earlier than you, I mean, you just started. I'm supporting you behind the scene. Yeah? So Bala will make my problem double, triple, quadruple. Finally, I will become a more Bala than that Bala. Right? That's why these Balas are what you call passive akusalas, I would say. When it is an active akusala, I understand my problem. But when I'm surrounded with Bala, they are giving me passive akusala experiences. I keep engaging in that particular bad activity. So that's why the Buddha is telling us to understand Pandita's nature has to be understood by the Bala. Panditas are always wise people. Try to understand those people. Don't try to pick it up from the wrong point. And then, Tadisang Panditam Bhaji, now you have to associate. Tadisang, what will happen to you when you keep associating Pandita? Tadisang Bhajamanas, Bhajan, Seyo Hoti, you will become better, better, better. Not will become worse. Seyo Papio, Seyo means improve yourself. You will improve yourself. You will not become worse in your certain activities, especially with regard to those akusala activities. Think about, you are someone who is what do you call, gossiping about other people, maybe hurting other people with your words. Nobody is telling you, even in private, don't do this again. It's not nice. Okay? And maybe the balas who you associating also very much hurtful people. They also never able to tell you an advice. But if you know a Pandita, Pandita will find a good opportunity to talk to you. I heard something like this. I just want to show you. Maybe you think about it. Not that you should be changed. I never change people, right? They will be unhappy if you try to change people. I see something about you. If you would like, you can improve yourself. Then the person might be asking, why you are telling me this advice? Because I learned Dhammapada's Panditavaka's first stanza today. Tell them the proof. That's right. That's what I'm telling you. You go and check it out. Because in that stanza, Buddha is saying, this is what is happening, what can happen in a situation. Right? So I just tell you, if you want to improve yourself, you take it. Otherwise, it's up to you. So you're giving the two choices. Don't tell that person, if you don't do this thing, you are in trouble. Say, I see something. If you like to change, you can change. If you don't want, it's up to you. So we are going in a very nice, pleasant approach. Not that in public you are saying, see, look at what you are doing. Don't embarrass anybody, even they are doing the wrong thing. Find out a better place to talk to them if you really want to talk. So then you will become a Seyo, better and better. You will never become Papiyo, right? Is that the Pali word that we discuss here? You will become better Seyo, not Papiyo. These are antonyms. Okay, let's see the translation as a whole at this point. Just as a person who reveals, supposedly the wise person who reveals hidden treasures, so should one regard the wise who point out faults in the proper way, okay? In a dignified, proper, nice way, admonish, advise. One should associate with such a learned person, wise person. For one who associates with them, life becomes better, not worse. Story, Radha. All right, so I think we understand the main idea about the stanza now. Now, with that in mind, let us move on to the story. The story is about a Brahmin, a poor Brahmin. Rather, R long A D H A, rather. What happened actually? Radha was born into a poor Brahmin family. Now, for those people who always thought Brahmins were very rich all the time, no, Brahmins were regarded as the noblest people in India. It does not at the same time say or mean that Brahmins were the richest people. The richest people were the Kshatriyas, Katyas. Who are the Katyas? Like the Buddha, right? They are Katyas. Katyas means kings. Kings come from Katya caste, or maybe the rich people, right? So this Radha's mother, father, they were poor people. So Radha's mother, father always thought what would happen to our son when we pass him, because we don't have anything to give to him. So maybe we should educate our son properly. So what happened? Every day they were trying to teach him something. Son, you need to know this. You better behave yourself. This is how you talk. This is how you're going to interact with other people. This is how you're going to respond to crisis if you go through in your life. There are not everything happening in the way that you like. You will be rejected. When you are rejected, try to bounce back. Don't be upset. Don't take your life. When you are complimented, don't be overwhelmed. Just be just be into Kanti nowadays. It's very interesting. The Buddhism talks about Kanti not with regard to the suffering. A lot of people think that only when you are into the dukkha, you must practice patience. No. Buddhism fundamentally saying that Kanti must be practiced when you are with successful events. Why? Have you seen people when they are so much achieved and they are going to trouble other people, saying that you are not like us? So the Buddha said, Kanti, patience must be practiced primarily. Yeah? I mean, secondarily, yes, when you are going through pain, primarily with regard to your success. Whenever you are complimented, just be patient. Don't try to be overwhelmed. Don't have to struggle off and then tell I'm the person, nobody can do like me. And when you are complimented and when you are doing very well, don't lose your patience. Just keep going. Right? And that is the optimal level of patience. So the Radha's mother, father told very, very valuable life lessons, not like school education only. So Radha never displayed frustration over mother, father's advices. No, today's children, they are not happy when mother, father going to advise them, right? Why should I? Why are you telling me this and that? Right? And the question is always, why? So mother, father don't know how to answer that why question. They are talking a lot of things, but why? Then they are stuck. Now the problem is, what is the position of mother, father with regard to parenting? Are you same? Are you equal to us? So have you experienced just like us in our life? Maybe this is not very much revealed in today's parental things. Yes, parents need to be friendly sometimes, but not all the time. They are parents. So anyways, Radha's mother, father taught all that. But the most important thing is, Radha never was stubborn. Listening to mother, father, very respectful, very grateful. And one day, Radha's mother, father passed away. Now what to do? No money. It was very difficult for him to live. So he was having a very hard time. One day, there was a monk came to his lane. So he had only a little bit of food. I think just like our past lesson discuss about somebody. And he offered one spoonful of, I think, milk rice, so rice. He didn't know who that monk was actually. That was what happened. Then after a couple of months, he understood, now I cannot even depend on my income. So I better go to a temple. At least when I take care of the temple and I can being a caretaker, clean the temple and doing those things, at least I will get the food. So he went to the temple, and then he went to the Jetwanarama temple, and then now he has been taking care of the temple, including the monks and nuns. And then what happened? One day, the Buddha saw in his morning, seeing who he should help today, and he found out the caretaker in the temple. Now, it's very interesting. Huh? If you look at it as a radar, like he's thinking, who has the potential to become enlightened today, right now, today, not last month. Today he saw that caretaker in the temple. So after the Pindapata, he went to see him in the temple. Then the Buddha asked him, rather, how's your life? And he said, I'm very poor. That's why I came to the temple. I've been depending on the food here, and I'm taking care of the temple. But now I'm old, so monks don't ordain. Very interesting, huh? At that time, when you are too old, they cannot ordain. But there are some of the disciplinary things in the Vinaya, like what do you call? If you have a very bad skin problem, you can't be ordained. If you have a loan to the government, monks cannot ordain you. Why? At that time, there were some people who borrowed a lot of money from the government, and they secretly went to the temple and became monks, the senior monks ordaining. Then what happened? The government or the judiciary system could not do the litigation process. They could not criminalize it. Once you became a monk, they could not hold you accountable. Then the Buddha knew this issue. The Buddha said, don't ordain anyone without checking their, what is that? Credit check. Huh? I don't know how it is going to be possible for a monk to check the bank system, whatever. But anyway, they have to check that. Just because you are saying, I am very frustrated about my life, I want to become no, that is not the way how you should be ordained. And another thing was, there were criminals who went and murdered people, stole. Then when the forces were looking after them, they immediately went to a temple, became monks, right? So in the same way, one perception was if you are too old, the monks think you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot practice easily because of your senile nature. So he told the Buddha, maybe that is why monks don't ordain. He thinks. Then the Buddha asks monks in the I think in the evening gathering, has anybody been benefited with this rather before he came here? Then Arahant Sariputta, the first disciple of the Buddha, said, yes, one day when I was going to his house lane, he offered me one spoonful of rice. Even Radha didn't understand who that monk was, but he had given the dana to the greatest disciple of the Buddha. Okay. So then the Buddha asked, would you like to ordain him? Yes, I'm very happy because he has been practicing for a long time. And then what happened? Arahant Sariputta ordained him rather. This is, just to see an idea about the situation. Arahant Sariputta ordained this old Radha. And what happened? Now there was another problem. When you are too old, you might not listen to the senior monks' advices. And plus, when you are too old, when you become a monk or nun, you may have to listen to the young monks who are senior than you in their vassa. That's not a very good experience for many people when they become monks and nuns. When they are too old, why am I listening to a young monk over here? It's not the young or old. It's the number of vassas now experience that as a monk or as a nun you have, right? So the Buddha wanted to check in with Arahant Sariputta. How is your disciple now? Venerable Radha. Oh, he's such a very good, very listening to me. He's practicing, we're very grateful to the teachings. He never showed me any indignation, any frustration. Although he's old, he wants to practice. He's willing to practice. And then the Buddha said this stanza with regard to whenever Radha's situation. Rather, within a very short time period, even became an arahant. So this is the story and how it was connected to understanding Pandita and Bala. So definitely, if you imagine Radha be the unwise person before he became an enlightened person, Arahant Sariputta was the Pandita. And then something very interesting is here. That means when you support the wise people, you will get the chance one day. You will get the opportunity one day, right? Now, Radha, when he was very poor, he didn't know what to do, but he felt offering dana to this monk. He didn't know this was Arahant Sariputta. But what happened? His Upanisaya, we call it Upanisaya, means conditions. His right condition was triggered by Arahant Sariputta's presence. All right, so let's get into the notes over here now. Nidhi Nangva Pavattara. Nidhi Nam means buried treasure. Pavattara means just like someone who is telling you where to find out the hidden treasure. The verse likens constructive criticism. I will put it this as healthy criticism, going beyond the constructive criticism to a nidhi revealed by a guide. Whenever Radha, who was overlooked by many, embraced Sariputta's admonishment as treasure, not insult. Similarly, this is another connecting story. In the story of Venerable Channa, if you click on that, it will go to the sutta. When corrected by the Buddha and the Sangha for his arrogance, the rebuke, was a turning point leading him to arahantship. Thus, admonishment received in the right condition is a wealth that frees one from delusion. Let us talk about Channa as well. What happened to Channa? Channa was the Buddha's driver, cart, what do you call it? Driver of his cart. And when he became a monk, he really expected the Buddha to give him a higher position in the Sangha order, just because he had known him for long. But Buddha said, I couldn't do it. You are not meritoriously deserving for that. You are thinking you are deserving. So he was troubling the Buddha a lot. Why are you not doing this to me? I was the one who was helping you. And then one day, Buddha had to give him the capital punishment in Buddhism. What is the capital punishment in Buddhism? May I know?
Dandan. Don't know what
What is it called? Do we have a capital punishment in Buddhism? You might talk about your country's capital punishment. What is the Buddhist? If you look at there are some books long time ago, written with regard to Buddhist jurisprudence. How did the Buddha actually look at law and order with regard to Sangha members and lay people? In that, if you look at even Channa Sutta, we understand what the Buddha meant by capital punishment. Capital punishment is Brahma Danda. Now, you know Brahma Vihara, right? You also should know Brahma Danda. It's right over here. Brahma Danda. Brahma Danda means highest punishment. Now, what does Brahma mean? Highest. Highest attitudes. Brahma Vihara. Do you want to spend your day with low attitudes or high attitudes? What attitudes do you want to have in your daily life? High attitudes. What are the high attitudes that you can cultivate during the day to bring your attitudes to become very much kusala based? Metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. But normally, do we have these attitudes for the most part of the day? Tell me the truth. What's really going on? Because Buddhism is the teaching of the honest person, not the theorizer's teaching. Depending on the conditions and what we are going through in our life, it might not be the same. That's why every time when we are going against metta and when we are going against karuna, which means cruelty or maybe endorsing violence, when we are going against mudita, jealousy, when we are going against preferences, particularity, being biased, prejudices, then we must think about upekka. So actually, what we are looking at of these 4 Brahma Viharas means how to bring ourselves into the higher, I would say, highest attitudes. In the same way, Brahma Danda means highest punishment. What is the highest punishment in Buddhism? Excommunication. I would say not talking to that person. Have you ever experienced that in your life? Has anybody stopped talking to you? Sometime in your life? Not one person, group of people stopped talking to you. What was your feeling? You're not happy, right? I was a part of that group, but suddenly they stopped talking to me. I was like, I was missed out, left out in that circle. Think about when the Buddha told monks, from today, I'm going to declare Brahmadanda for Venerable Chand. He never done that to anybody. And then what the monks understood, what is Brahmadanda? You are not going to talk to him anymore. And then what happened? Venerable Chand disciplined himself. Why are Sangha members, nobody talking to me? Something wrong with me. And then I have to improve myself. Seyo, not papyo. You can't do that. Don't do it. Only Buddha can do that. You don't do Brahmadanda to your friends. Then you are creating a big problem. It's only given by the Buddha. Actually, what happened when the Buddha passed away, monks were questioning, now what will happen to Brahmadanda given to Venerable Chand? It was a question posed to the Venerable Mahakashyapa. Then Venerable Mahakashyapa said, pity on him, we will get rid of this thing. So now it's been a long time we don't talk to him. So from today, we are going to release Brahmadanda. So you talk to him. Actually, by that time, he understood his own akusala. He, in a short period of time, he became an arahant. So now, what we need to know here is that value criticism, don't criticize about the wealth and all that. Value criticism must be done in a healthy way. Just like how Arahant Mahakashyapa does, or the Buddha does to his followers. So do it in a dignified, friendly, nice way in private. Don't do it in public. Okay? Making the people very shameful about what they have done. And if the situation is very, very bad, we can think about something similar to Venerable Chanda's Brahmadanda's story. We can't do it, but at least we keep ourselves safe from the unnecessary people. Second note is about choose wise companionship. This is something we've been discussing all the way. The Buddha instructed to associate with a Pandita, wise person, who reproves out of compassion. Here I would say harsh training versus pleasant training. This is not the best, but sometimes Pandita will opt out for this depending on situation. Radha's fortune, Venerable Radha's fortune lay in following Sariputta. In the Maha, this is another relation to the story. In the Maha Gosinga Sutta Madhyamaka Nikaya 32, the Buddha praised the value of noble companions like Sariputta, Arahant Sariputta, Arahant Moggallana, whose mutual guidance sustained their progress. Right? Just as Venerable Radha's obedience bore fruit, choosing companions who uplift rather than flatter leads one closer to it. This is very interesting. What kind of friends do you like? Those who flatter you, or those who flatter you, uplift you in a bit of harsh way sometimes. Who would like all the time? Would you opt out those flatterers? Huh? Would you? Because I know somebody, I mean, you might think, I know somebody never given me any compliment. It is not your problem. It is that person's problem. The person doesn't know how to express what he or she thinks. Like a Pacheka Buddha, right? The Buddha, but doesn't know how to talk. What to do? Right? So we have to choose the people who can uplift us over the flatterers. Right? That is something we have to bring into our attitudes. Right? But do we need a little bit of flattering sometimes from people around us? Do we? You decide that. We don't need that much because we want the real people, right? We don't want to actually ask people, hey, just give me some good compliments, right? And the third one is cultivate. This is a very important humility. Medavi Nigayavadi. The Medavin points out faults and guides true admonition, advice, rather humility in performing small services prepared his heart for the higher training. See, well, due to the time, I'm going to picking up the very important things. Can you think about the opposite side of humility? What's the Pali word for that?
Arrogance.
Ah,
Arrogance.
what's that?
The opposite for humility, arrogance.
Oh, what's the Pali word for that? Mana.
Conceit.
M long
Mana.
N.
Conceit. Mana.
Now I have a question for you. Listen to that carefully. When someone is attaining enlightenment, I'm talking about a very regular kind of enlightenment. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant. Right? I think you all know these four. But some people, they directly attain Nibbana. Right? It can happen, right? So when someone is becoming a Sotapanna, one has to get rid of Sakkaya. Yeah, Sakkaya Ditti. Sakkaya Ditti is the first fetter that we all have to deal with. I think it is the biggest problem we have at the same time. That is the biggest, worst problem we have. Forget about the other issues. Our problem is not with the sensual problem. Our problem is not with the remorse in the first place. Our problem is we always would like to identify us with 5 aggregates. I think I shared with you how does it happen. I think a week ago, remember I sent you a post. How can someone create 20 types of Sakkaya Ditti? Did you get it? This is happening to us. I am me. Me is I am in the Rupa. Rupa is in me. This is my feeling. I am in the feeling. So this way we are creating 20 types of Sakkaya Ditti. Now the problem is, if at the point of Sakkaya Ditti, if we stop this identity making, why Mana is not going to be overcome until you attain Nibbana? Because you see the 10, fetters, Sangyojana, Sakkaya Ditti, personality, belief, 20 types Sakkaya Ditti, Silabbata Paramasa, rites, clinging to rites and rituals, Vichikicha, doubts. If someone wants to attain Sotapanna, these must be overcome. Once someone becomes a Sotapanna, the next is how to become a Sakadagami. When someone wants to become a Sakadagami, that Sotapanna has to reduce Kamaraga Patiga at least to a great extent. Normally some books say at least 50% of Kamaraga Patiga must be overcome. But still, Sakadagami has some Kamaraga and Patiga. So that is why that remained leftover Kamaraga means sensual desire and Patiga means hatred, will be only overcome when that person becomes an Anagami person, non-return. And then what will happen? Still, Anagami person now wants to attain Nibbana. Then what are the fetters at hand for him or her? Rupa Raga, desire to be reborn in a Brahma world, Rupavachara Brahma world. Arupa Raga, desire to be reborn in a Arupavachara Brahma world. Mana, that's the fetter here. Conceit, that means Sotapanna has conceit, arrogance. Sakadagamin has conceit, arrogance. Anagamin also has conceit. Only when you attain Nibbana, you are going to overcome Mana, Uddacha and Avijja. So when someone is very arrogant, don't worry, Even Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, they also have it. Now you might be concerned then, why Mana is not left at the level of Sotapanna? What is Mana? Comparing. When you become a Sotapanna, how would you compare? I am not still a Sakadagami. You compare yourself. When you are a Sakadagami, you might think, I am still not an Anagami. This is why conceit. So now here we understand, if the opposite of conceit is humility, this is a wonderful way to lower our man. Humility means trying to become grounded, trying to become a down-to-earth person, realistic person. So that is something that this quality is reflected with regard to Radha's lay life and the monk's life. Okay, rest of the things I would merely read. You will read. Reciprocate gratitude. Arahant Sariputta was grateful to ordain him. Venerable Radha was very much receptive, very much listening to the guidance given by Arahant Sariputta. And this is for all of us. When there was a healthy advice coming from a Pandita, don't take it as an offense. Don't be offended. And recognize the hidden potential in others. That means when you are obliged to give a healthy advice, give it. Because only when you give it, that person has a chance to get better. Sometimes you are not telling it, and that person is not going to do well in his or her life now and the future. Last one, constructive reproach as loving guidance. This is what I said, harsh way. You do it with metta. All right, so all in all, what we discussed today was that Panditas will come to us in different ways. In this stanza, it says in a harsh way. So let us embrace that advice to become better people. All right, any questions? So you can raise the virtual hand. You have a question. Any question about today's stanza? And then yes, him, please.
Bhante, good evening. I just wonder, sometimes we know about something we want to share and with the person, but sometimes it became like mind your own business and you just let it be. So it is bad for us or not, for the person not reviewing and sharing what may be important, or what may be important for improvement or uplifting, but end up is like, oh, just mind our own business, So not doing what that means, not doing what a Kalyamita should do. But I don't know, Bhante, sometimes we just hold back. Is it wrong?
Well, the better way to do that, I think we discussed a little bit that earlier. Now, when you are practicing Dhamma, you will see mistakes, faults of other people easily. Why? You are mindful, you have a practice, and then you compare the practice with other people, and you want to say something. So, if you are that kind of person, definitely we all, then you should not hurry to say that sometimes, because some people need time to adjust for that thing. Maybe you might postpone that thing for some time and then look for a good time to say that. And then maybe you are trying to bring about certain other situations whether the person might accept or not. Not directly saying it right away, you are wrong and you should be correcting yourself. So I think if you know the right time, maybe the proper way to do it, and proper way means that especially not trying to do it right away. Maybe look for the changes of the person. If the person is not going to change, if you think the person is very much stern, then better not to say that. And then you will get the same answer. Mind your own business. Right? So the better way is to look for a better time, and then the better wait until situation gets changed. There are people who would like to change at that point. So and you don't have to hold back. You just think it is not necessary. So if it is not necessary, why should I hold back? It's not my problem, right? I don't have to hold back. Then I have to correct everybody in this society. And if you think there's someone, like as you said, Kalyana Mitra, you want to support, then you look for a better time. Maybe this is not the right time for me. Right? And we learned that from Angulimala's story. Buddha did not go to see Angulimala until he found out the best time to go. Yes, Polly?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, about Veramani, understand the 5 precepts is I undertake the training precept to abstain from killing, stealing, when we undertake the 5 precepts, Bhante. So, we understand that when the merits come only when there's a challenge, like you feel like stealing, and then the abstinence is that merit. Otherwise, unchallenged, does that, as we go about and really there's nothing that we feel like stealing and everything, so the merit is not accumulated. There's
I
nothing
did
but the
not hear
training.
that part. Can you talk a little bit closer to your mic? Yes, maybe there's a sound
Yes.
problem.
No,
Yeah.
Bhante, for Veramani, I understand that the 5 precepts is I undertake to the training precept to abstain when we say out our 5 precepts, right? So Bhante, I understand that only when there's a challenge, then is there merit, meaning like you are tempted to take something and then you abstain, then there is some merit in it.
No. The
Is that
reason
true?
why this is a question is in Buddhist ethics, why the Veramani part was added. The Buddha's training has 3 ways: soft way, harsh way, both soft and harsh. I wanted to tell you, when a Pandita can be giving us the harsh guidance. This is what I say. But what is the importance of harsh guiding? There is a reason. Now, sometimes we have to tell people the boundary of the problem. You do anything, but don't do that. When you get to the point that you are stealing other people's stuff, that's very wrong. Right? So Veramani part has come to the Buddhist precepts in a way to tell the boundary. But my understanding is that we don't have to tell everybody the boundary. Some people are already good people. So I don't think we should have that conversation with those people. But in general, Veramani is used to teach people that this is the extent that you should not go. If we understand that way, Veramani is still a good way. But we also should not forget that there is a pleasant soft way too, which we can easily do it. Perhaps you may have understood the way how I shared today. We don't have to say that don't steal. Just now it's like that you wanted to ask someone, can you watch my belongings or something? You watch your stuff, you watch your belongings, possession. That's a good way to say that. What if you're going to say, I have my belongings over here, don't steal, huh? Don't steal my stuff, okay? And then this is a different way to look at it. You feel differently. If you are the person who has been told like that, why are you telling me like that? Have I done that before? Right? You start questioning about yourself. So that is a small problem with Veramani with regard to good people. Who have a committed, long-term, good character. So for those people, I don't think we should bring Veramani, which is what the Buddha did. Buddha did not bring Veramani part to those people. Yeah. All right. I think there are no other questions. So at this point, let us transfer the good karma. So we learn about harsh guidance that can come from a Pandita. So let us respect that. Let us try to learn out of those things, not to get offended. So may all the good karmas we've been creating today be transferred to all the departed ones who have passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika receive all the good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. These are all important conditions in our life till we attain some sort of enlightenment. At the same time, may Deva, Naga, Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang parang chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. Our Dhammavis, just like how we've been discussing about the Bala, and today Pandita, is the greatest wish to be surrounded more and more with Kalyana Mittas. May we also become Kalyana Mittas to as many sentient beings as we meet in this samsaric life till we attain Nibbana. With this beautiful intention, let us speak the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making today by learning about the first stanza of the Pandita Pada, 76 stanza of Dhammapada, be supportive and helpful for all of you to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siris nichang vadhapachayino chattaro dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukham balam. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti nivacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night, and we'll be seeing you next Thursday at the same time. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Good night,
Bhante.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Sadhu, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you very much.